In this video, I'm gonna teach you guys how to mate in 7 in the King's Gambit. I'm also gonna teach you how to implement 5 traps in the King's Gambit, and that will destroy your opponents and have maybe win rates over 90%. So folks, this opening is called the King's Gambit, and it starts with pawn to e4, one of the most aggressive lines in chess. They go e5, one of the most popular response in chess after e4. So folks, it is no joke that a lot of people play this, and a lot of people will fall into this trap also. This is the most popular move in the trap, taking on f4, and so folks, a lot of people will fall into the trap because after knight f3, developing the knight, we already have development in the center, and also having this pawn over here, having the advantage. The first line we're gonna see is knight to c6. So folks, we're gonna go pawn to d4 first, and then they will go pawn, but we will just take it with pawn to d5. And if they do take our pawn on d5, we will go knight to c3 and attack the queen on d5, and then they will go back and check us while also getting away from their queen. We will of course cover up with a bishop on e2. So folks, they will go bishop to p4 for trying to pin their knight, but there's a trap over here folks, because they pin their knight. We can just go and fork them, and if they go here, we'll just take the knight. So we still have the full advantage according to the computer, plus 1.9 points. So we just won material over here, and of course we're gonna probably win this. I mean, look at the computer advantage, and plus we're having more material than our opponent. And then the other line where I'm gonna show you, there's another trap. What if they go pawn to d6 instead of taking our pawn? Well then folks, we will go knight to f3, try to attack this pawn, and they are playing passively. They will go and develop. We're gonna go bishop to c4. And if they go bishop to c4, they will pin our knight. If the knight moves in the board, the queen will be taken. We will go in castle. If they go here, knight to d4, and knight to d4, there's another trap over here. We move the bishop to f7, sacrificing our bishop on f7. And if they do take our bishop, we're gonna do the maniac move. Knight moving to g5. They cannot take our queen because it is check. Okay? So they might, a lot of opponents might think that they can take this, but it's check. So they have to move their king first. If they don't, their king will be unsafe and it will be eaten, and that's game over. So folks, they will take our bishop. A lot of people could go wrong here. Okay, for example, if they take the knight, which a lot of people will do, we will just go and take the queen with check. Our queen cannot be taken because of the bishop, because it's check. So they have to move their king first, and if they move their king first, we're just gonna take the bishop back. So folks, there's a lot of opponents that will do that, and this is what makes the King's Gambit so effective. There's a lot of traps in here. I could even maybe make a next video for it, but I don't know. So folks, this is a very cool trap that you can try it. What if they don't take it with the queen, the knight? So folks, if they go here, the best possible move, then we'll just go and take the bishop back on g4. Well folks, we're just having plus 1 point, and we're having 0.8 plus advantage according to the computer. So folks, this is win-win situation. The other lines, e4, e5, of course, with the King's Gambit, we have here g5, attacking our knight over here on the center of the board, and also trying to reinforce the pawn on f4. We will just go knight to c3, trying to go here and develop another piece, and also trying to recover the center and defending the pawn. While they might go here, another riskless pawn move. Why? Because if they go and attack our knight, we'll just move the knight away. And if they go knight attack our knight again, that's fine. It's balanced according to the computer. But if they don't attack our knight and see this good opportunity, which a lot of people will play, then folks, there's another trap. Well folks, if we go pawn to g3 first and attack the queen and the pawn, they will take the pawn on g3. And they will think that we will take the pawn on g3, they will take the rook on h1. So maybe that will happen, but we're not gonna do that, and we're not morons. So folks, we will go and take the pawn on g4 with the queen. And why are we gonna do that? Because if he takes, it's a trade, and if he takes, it's just a trade, and it's fine. What happens if something else happens? So folks, if we take the pawn, they could go here. They could just realize that they can just go here and try to queen their pawn because it is check. And if our king moves, then folks, they will have a queen. Well folks, that is nothing because folks, we can just take the queen on h4. So folks, queen to h4, and then they might make a queen is nothing. Because after that, there's our other lines that we can trap him with. After queen to h5, trying to mate here. If he lose something here like this, that's mate in 1. Or something like this, and it's made in 1. So folks, they cannot do anything about this except not go and do anything and except just defend it with the knight. So if they do defend it with the knight, we'll just go here. And this is a very advantageous move for us because of the fact that we're gonna take their knight next. They might go d6, which is the most advantageous move, or maybe bishop to d6, which is also attacking the knight. Try to not be checkmated with the enforcement of the knight so that the queen can take the pawn. But folks, there's something wrong with that. If they do go pawn to d6, which is the most advantageous move, we will get the plus plus 5 points back with interest, because when we do take the knight on h6, we do not just take a knight, they will take our knight again, and then we will go king to f2. I don't know why, but the computer recommends that, and there's another trap after that. And if we go here, they will go here, and knight to c6, we're gonna just gambit our own rook. So folks, we will go and take the pawn on f7 because it is undefended. And folks, we're just having advantages here, more advantage here, because despite our opponent having 9 plus points, we could just get it back. But if they go here, which is the only square, we will take first the bishop. And if we take first the bishop, they cannot take the bishop earlier, okay? So because of the fact that if they do take the bishop earlier, we could just go here. That's a check. And now we're opening up to the queen with the rook. So folks, if they move their king, we'll just take the queen or maiden 4. Because after knight to d5, they might go here. And then after this, we will check them again. And then after that, they go bishop to g5. The best shot they got to delay the checkmate. And of course, if they go here, the best way to delay the checkmate again, it's checkmate, folks. And not only that, it's also a fork, which is amazing. But folks, what if they don't do that? And if they do take our bishop much earlier in the game, well folks, there is an advantage because we will go here and take this pawn, and now it's dead for them because of the fact we checked their king, and now their king must move. We go queen to f6 trying to check and fork them, and that's why they don't go there, because of the fact that off that fork, we get the rook on h8. So folks, there's a lot of traps over here in this opening. Not only that, deciding to continue their own line. So we gambit the rook yet again from the previous line, and we're just gonna continue this line. So folks, we're gonna go queen to f7 next after they take a rook, because it is guarded by the bishop, and if they move their king, we'll go over here, bishop to f8, and that is guarding the bishop. You cannot take the bishop because of the fact that it's unfair trade, and not only that, that is mate in 5, because after king to d7, there is this, and then this, and then this, and then that is mate in 1, because after this, queen to c7 is checkmate. So folks, they cannot do that, they cannot take the bishop, so folks, they might just as well blunder the rook. They could only do is develop the bishop of their own. And we will go over here, queen to f6, trying to fork the rook and their king. And now folks, they cannot do anything, because after this, they will have to move their king, and now we have the full advantage, because now we're breaching in, and also we have taken back their material. Not only that, checkmate is gonna come in a couple of moves. I mean, look at that queen here, it's ridiculous. It's gonna breach in right at the moment. So folks, we have the full advantage here if this line occurs. So folks, what if the other lines happen? What if in the very start, they go pawn to d6? So folks, pawn to d6, nothing much happens because we go bishop to c4, and if they go g5, trying to do the same thing, we go pawn to h4, and if they do this, that's nothing. We will just go here, and now we have a very loose knight on the center of the board, which can destroy the king over here. And this is even maybe a fork, because of the fact, if they do something very bad like this, then we can just go knight to f7 and try to fork their queen and the rook, and they must move the queen, and then we will win the rook. We can even maybe go here, but it's not really good, because despite having plus 1 point for them, what the heck is the knight doing there? And we got all of these pieces to attack with. We can maybe even, and we will go expand in the center after those couple of moves. They will try to develop, of course, but that's it. We're just having the full advantage after this. What if the other lines happen? If they too take our gambit. So folks, what if they go d5? We go knight to c3, and then after that, they will take our pawn on e4. Well, there's something wrong with that. And despite having 2 pawns in the center of the board attacking us, our knights, well then folks, we will just take the pawn, and then if they go here, we will just go here, queen to e2, there, no problem. And if you take the knight and f3, that is checkmate. That's full on checkmate on 7 moves. So folks, I just teach you how to checkmate in 7 on this gambit. You might not get it, but these are 5 traps only. I'm teaching you 5 traps in the King's Gambit, and that might be helpful soon in your games of King's Gambit. So I dare you to try this Gambit on the King's Gambit and try to deeply learn the King's Gambit, and this will very benefit your games in chess. So folks, I think those are all the lines. I think that's all the lines now. So folks, those are all the lines. Thank you guys for watching the video. Please subscribe and like to motivate me to make more videos like this. And guys, please also press the bell button to notify you every single time I upload. See you in the next video. Peace out.